Hi, I'm Mark Bromley, and today I wanted to chat to you about the difference between flexibility and mobility and why you need both and why you need to be doing both and putting both into your overall program. So when we talk about flexibility, it's talking about the range of individual muscle groups. So for instance, when we talk about our hamstring flexibility, we look at, if we look at that, we're looking at how far can we go there. We're just testing the range of that one muscle. Whereas mobility, we're talking about the range of movement around a joint. So if we're looking at our hips, it's what's our overall range. So obviously there's a number of different muscles that are going to impact on that, and potentially there's other structures that then impact on that as well. For running, our key mobility joints are our ankle and our hip. Our knee is actually a stability joint, so in other words, its role is not to move too much, although it does have a little bit of movement there. Its role is to stabilise us. So quite often what we find is that injuries in the knee are actually as a result of poor mobility or incorrect muscle firing or stability of up around our hips or our ankle. So that's our general cause there. So when we're looking to assess what's our overall mobility of those two joints, a really good test that we use as strength and conditioning coaches is to look at a squat. So can you squat down to below parallel while holding nice neutral spine? So what that looks like from side on, neutral spine, knees are out, do we have full mobility there? You probably find when you're doing that, you can start to feel those tight areas around one or two joints there. So either around our ankle or around our hip. That's an indicator that we do have some tight muscles going on there. So the way that we train mobility is, well, massage therapists assist with this process really well because they're able to look at what's impacting on around that joint and assisting you to loosen off those. So things like massage, trigger point therapy, but you can also go and just sit down and hold the squat. You can just hold that position, maybe up to around 2 minutes, getting used to being in that position, and that's going to improve that mobility of the hips and ankle there. Another one for the ankle is just a simple calf stretch, but that obviously also targeting our calf flexibility there. And then obviously stretching for our flexibility exercises. So that's how you go about it. That's a couple of exercises you can do. You can look back to my previous videos as well. I've talked about how you can get better hip mobility, so some exercises around that. Now the reason we need good hip and ankle mobility, so if we talk about the ankle first, with our ankle we want to be striking in that sort of position. In other words, generally our knee is going to come a little bit, it needs to come forward, or in fact a little bit over our toe there, in that sort of position. So if we don't have that range there, then we're going to be limited in how we're landing. So we're probably going to need more of a heel strike, or we're going to be loading up our calves quite a lot up onto our forefoot. That's something to be aware of there. Now, in terms of our hip mobility, it's going to limit how much knee drive we can have, and also the power of our glutes. So if either of those are impacted, then we're going to be running in a less efficient and less power productive position. So if you can learn to optimize that, add mobility into your 10-minute daily routine, and then also include some stretching as well, you're going the right way about trying to improve your mechanics for running. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.